1 minute for each qualifying session. Let's go. Qualifying 1 started with a 1 second gap to Lewis Hamilton in second place, taking all 3 purple sectors. We did have to do a second lap, however, as we did invalidate our first lap in the middle of sector 1. Hence the smaller gap at the beginning of session. However, by the end of the session, obviously with the slower lap time and the AI having the ability to improve, the gap reduced to a pretty much 6/10 gap to Hamilton in second place, maintaining it. Verstappen and Charles are expected championship rival. Our 2 other expected championship rivals in 4th and 5th place at the moment, and Science popping in there because he can. Qualifying 2 started off with a much better lap time, 1:30.0, 1.6 seconds ahead of Charles Leclerc in second place. We took 2 purple sectors, sector 1 and sector 2. However, Max just beat us in sector. I got purple sectors in sector 1 and sector 3. Max just beat us to the sector 2 fastest lap. At the end of the session, and Fernando Alonso popped himself into second place, going 1.5 seconds behind us, improving on Charles's gap by 1/10. Lewis only in 5th place this time, and 1.7 seconds behind us. Sorry, I did take a drink just then. Championship rivals, Max in 6th place, 1.7, and Charles in 3rd place, 1.6. Our qualifying 3 started off well as again. Slightly slower lap time, a 1:30.1, 1.3 seconds ahead of Max. And again, only 2 purple sectors, sector 1 and sector 3, with sector 2 going towards Max by just under half a tenth. At the end of the session, nothing happened really. AI got a little bit quicker, and Max put himself into P2, 1.1 seconds behind us on pole position. Charles Leclerc taking 3rd place, 1.2 behind us, and Lewis taking 4th place, 1.5 behind us. Let's go to the race and see what we can do. Hopefully win.
Welcome from the Jeddah Street Circuit for what we hope is going to be a gripping spectacle of racing. It's time to get underway as we join the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So let's take a look at the topographical map of the Jeddah Street Circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. What a qualifying yesterday for George Russell. He'll start today's race from pole position. And Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Hamilton, Lando Norris, and Fernando Alonso. Bottas, Albon, Vettel, and Sergio Perez. Joe, Sainz, Kevin Magnussen, and Mick Schumacher. Tsunoda, Gasly, Lance Stroll, and Esteban Ocon. Latifi and Daniel Ricciardo fills the last spot on the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. And I'm delighted, as always, to introduce Anthony Davidson, who'll be taking you through all the action alongside me today. Should we kick off our conversation with George Russell?
Well, it was a really impressive lap in qualifying to get pole position, but are they going to be able to hold on to the lead into the first corner with so many quick starters around them? A couple of favourites for the win then, but who comes out on top doesn't really matter as long as they give us an entertaining show en route to the checkered flag. And we want to see fair fighting, of course, out there on the track. Let's hope the stewards don't have to get involved too much today.
So, Anthony Davidson asks of us that we drop to the back of the field and make a bunch of overtakes to win the Grand Prix. A lot of hards, a lot of mediums, but mostly softs for the grid today. Looks like our strategy team want us to start softs as well. Let's see if we can change the strategy a little bit to gain some extra protected race time. Found 1.2 seconds on the strategists at Mercedes. Obviously, there's been My Universe 2021 Formula 6. So it's not actually Mercedes. It's not actually Formula 1. And technically we shouldn't be racing at Saudi Arabia because the circuit doesn't exist at this part of the 2021 season. But hey ho, it's the F1 game. I can do whatever I want, ignoring the fact that if I wanted to start this series with the correct age and year gaps, I would have to have started this series back in 2018, I believe. Anyway, the strategy, looking at the soft, medium, having a look at medium, soft, medium, to see if it is quick enough that we can do a medium hard alternate strategy. One about 3/10 slower than the other strategy of starting softs, so it's not viable. I've just looked and the plan would have had to have been 2017 to start Championship 19. When in actual real life it was the 2021 game with Championship 19. Anyway, strategy looks good. Let's see if we can change that to a soft hards. Obviously, just in case the tyre wears a little bit much and we want to go hard to the end of the race. It's really slow. Let's hope we don't have to do that. Starting on the mediums would have been better. No, it'll be fine. Max in second place is on hards, so we don't have to worry about him.
Right, now we can start. Here we go. Third time of asking, and we finally got both audio and visuals recording. Anyway, let's get straight to the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Quite an easy one actually, shouldn't be too long. It'll probably still be about 20 minutes though. Lights out. And as you would have seen, the hard tyres on Max and mediums on surrounding competitors meant that a poor start was an okay start, as we led through sector 1 and we already have a 1 second gap. So that was a very nice of Red Bull. Thank you very much. Did think I almost got a warning at that corner, but it doesn't matter because I didn't. Yes, go Charles. Max just doesn't pull away, and Lewis just nips up the inside and outside of both of them. A little bit of a wobble on the rear end, but he gets into second place, and it's now on Merc 1-2. Great stuff, guys. Go on board with Lewis. Don't need to go on board with me because you don't actually see anything, and don't need to go on board with Max because, well, again, you don't see anything. Don't remember where sector 1 ends. I know it's here, around there. said Lewis, not Max. Lights out. And he gets a great start compared to Charles and Max. It was quite better. It was a bit better than me. But obviously because he's starting 4th, didn't have the drive to get past me. To get close to me. And was only able to get past Max and Charles. Max and Charles had quite equal starts. But Charles having a slightly better one, but not being able to make anything of it because of Hamilton making the overtake on Max. Almost 2 seconds already. I know I love Saudi, but wow. Lap 6. Sebastian Vettel. I believe warning for contact. And seeing as 2 cars going side by side ahead, I presume it's now. Oh, what are you doing, Zeb? Oh my lord, you're a melon. Anyway, quick thing to note, Max had a problem this race. So that's why he's down in 9th after 6 laps. You can see the absolute monster of a train. Carlos from 12th, making great progress. But yeah, Max had a car issue, and so it was slow, Mark told me. Vettel trying to be too eager. Little bit of front wing damage. Yeah, fairly tame race. I just want to see if he makes this move. There's a little bit more contact. Wow. And he does get past. Why do I always have to leave for the good helicopter shots? Anyway, as you would have seen, lap 11 is our pit window for softs to come off our car and mediums to go on. And so that is what we did at the end of lap 11. There was a strategy change on lap 6 to change to lap 8, but at that point the pit rejoin position was around 19th still, and it wasn't until about lap 8 where it started to change. Now Saudi's pit lane is bugged, and I'll show you in a minute. So yeah, it didn't change till like lap 8 or something, and so I was like, okay, we'll be fine for lap 11. Helped by a lot of the other guys pitting. To be honest, I thought a lot more people would go longer, but I guess with Max holding everyone up, the bigger gap was created so that the people staying out on mediums and hards didn't come in straight, didn't block me, which was nice of them. Very unusual for them to do that. It was quite nice as well because stayed up a little bit later than I should have last night, and so wasn't really awake for this race. I was very tired during practice. What didn't help was tyre temperatures were absolutely muddied. Ended the stint in 100 on the rear front left and 101 on the right. and the tyre pressures were 1 click away from the minimum, so that wouldn't have done anything, and it made the car quite understeering and quality. So I just turned the front wing down 2 and just had to deal with the tyre pressures. And you would have seen the game slowed me down very awkwardly, and because you don't need to see the second one, we'll just go to it. The game's pit line is there. I don't know. Hold up. Oh, I thought that was 3 wide then. No, Alonso's there. Yeah, I think we were the only one that did a 2-stop actually. Well, at least if it was... We were the only one that did a planned 2-stop from the beginning of the race. Everyone else, anyone else, if they did do a 2-stop, was... See, I can't go past this because the pit line is actually here, even though... Damn it. Because I'm in the pit lane, I can't go to me. Okay, that's weird. Let's probably look where I'm going. Hello, mate. If I hit a wall, I think I have. Wait, this is how to control a camera in photo mode. Yeah, I can't go any further than this. We'll look over to the car. Where am I looking? I've not gone enough. No, I've gone complete 360. Oh. There we go. I was looking up there. Wow, okay. Anyway. Quick inspection of the car. I'm here. And the camera doesn't allow you to go into pit lane, which is where the speed limit is. I can't go any further. But the pit lane speed limit board is there. So I go in, doing a Brazil, trying to cut the chicane, braking at the end of the chicane to make the speed limit line there. But no, the speed limit line is here. Cody, sort it out. Anyway, Charles Leclerc had a tired lap 13. Because it only lasted 1 corner. Not even that. And he pulls over at turn 1. Yep. Well. And with the championship as it is, that's a a predicted championship rival out the running. Oh, poop. So obviously, because 2-stop, we caught up to these guys on lap 17. Courtesy of new mediums and slower AI than me. Although I do think it is not far away from my optimal level. Anyway, coming out the DRS, heading towards turn 27. We got a good run, headed towards the outside. With his DRS, we weren't quite close enough, but we took a wide line through the final corner, and with a good exit pulled ourselves past and up into P2 to go chase after Hamilton, which we'll do after a little onboard break. I tried to make it sound like a commercial break. That didn't work. I can't tell if that's the DRS detection line or sector 3 line. To be honest, most circuits don't have a sector line, so I'm assuming it's DRS detection. He kind of wobbles, tries to go past, tries to dive bomb Hamilton, but we were close enough that it didn't work for him, and we just pulled around his outside and up into P2. Is there anyone close enough? No, that was a mistake. Worth a try though. On board with Alonso. Not using overtake. Got DRS open. And then as soon as I get close, overtake. 2 presses. Yeah, it kind of just wobbles in the brake zone. Very unlike Alonso. And put us past into P2. Also, I didn't realise Albon got past Norris. I knew. Well, when I came out of the pits, Norris was 4th, so yeah. And I didn't really check up on Norris after. I knew he was 4 seconds behind. Didn't really care after that. Because he never closed in on me, never threatened to take 3rd from me. Sector 3 again, lap 18 this time. Of course, can't be lap 20 again. And this time, Lewis had no DRS, and so we just went clean round outside, and didn't quite get DRS. Lewis got that, so we still contested for first, heading on to lap 19. At this point, Mark had already congratulated me on the move for P1. Lewis locks up, almost hits me. What is it with Mercs and locking up when I'm on the outside of him? But we got ourselves up into P1 and allowed Lewis to fend off Alonso for P2. Seeing as it's just going to be an onboard and you already know what happened, midway through this race I was trying to remember what happened last season. Yes, I know last season is technically a different championship, but it's still last season. This season, as George Russell, is 2021. For those of you that want to know, I'm trying to remember what happened last season at Saudi. Couldn't remember it till round lap 10 when I realised, oh, it rained last season. I think it was when I went past Charles's retired car actually. Realised, oh yeah, it rained last season. Because obviously that's not going to be something you remember, because it don't normally rain at Saudi. Although, to me that makes the complete opposite sense. It would be more memorable because it's something that doesn't normally happen. Anyway, you could see Lewis lock up wasn't an issue for us, and we just went through sector 1 on our usual business. And off to take the championship lead from Ocon, who's down in 10th. Yeah. Always knew I was going to get the lead after Bahrain. Never really in doubt. It was just a matter of when. because obviously if Ocon got enough points this race he would have still been able to lead the championship. He would have had to get 4th though, because obviously they'd have to match me, because I'd match his 1st place, so he'd have to match my 4th place to go level with points. Almost turns into the world, doesn't this? But yeah, I was looking before this race. The only championship rival, of which I am counting technically 3, but 5. Quite a lock up there, Lewis. At least we didn't make contact. George. That's why I replaced you. Was it? Oh yeah. I have 5 championship rivals. Lewis, Max, Checo, Carlos and Charles. But Carlos and Checo, they're not really that quick in Grand Prix mode with equal cars. So it is only Lewis, Charles and Max. But the only one of those 5 to get points in Bahrain was this guy, Carlos. And because he's down in 8th, we're gaining massive points on him. Gaining 24 points on him. Collision warning for Joe, I'm pretty sure. Wait, oh. Whoa, okay. Didn't realise. That's the collision warning. Okay, that's better. Just collides with Ocon. Takes off his front wing as well. And Ocon drops down into 11th. Well done, Joe. You're public enemy number 1 for Alpine after Piastri and Alonso. But yeah, the 3 actual championship rivals that I count are that began with 0 points, so as long as I finish first, I will still be ahead of them in the championship. And since they should be occupying the top 6 with me, anyone that Ocon, Perez, no, not Perez, Ocon and Vettel should be nowhere near to still maintain the lead, still maintain first. I forgot how to speak, I don't know why. Go on board with Perez, as soon as he uses the 4th car on the train at the end. Yeah, Joe just makes a stupid dive on Ocon, pays the price with his front wing. Norris picks up the scraps, and Perez is left to go after a bewildered Ocon after that dive bomb. The Red Bull isn't this glossy in real life, is it? I thought it was matte. I thought only the tape was gloss, because I couldn't find any good matte tape, as explained in Belgium qualifying last season. In real life, not mine. 27. That's right. Well, track limit. Pretty sure I did that turn 1, that lap 1. Do what I do with the grid photos. If it is this is actually quite harsh. Oh. That is very close, but it is just. Just want to make sure it isn't something else that's more obvious. No, I know it's weren't there because I never went over the curb. Because I always thought it would spin me. Mainly because it did the other day when I was playing with my brother. So, yeah. Always a bit cautious after the spin. 28, another track limit warning. What a surprise. 2 in 2 laps. Something tells me this one's more obvious. Yeah, if I'm off the circuit from here, I'm definitely off the circuit from here. At 34. Oh, never mind. At 30. Second stop. Off these mediums onto another set of mediums. We're over 20 minutes. We need to kind of quick make this quick. No slow laps to report. There was one quick lap on lap 16. Just went a little bit quicker than I planned. But that's because I was catching Alonso and Hamilton. So nothing to really look at there. So yeah, we built a pit stop gap on Lewis and Alonso after they pit on lap 29. Very thankful that they did because I didn't want to have to overtake them again. Made sure that I stuck to the speed limits at both points. It's really weird because it slows you down. There's my 5-second penalty for speeding in the non-existent pit lane before the actual pit lane. It slows you down, but it lets you keep control still, which is so weird. And then it actually takes over at the speed limit line, which it just doesn't make sense to me. It shouldn't do that. If the speed limit line is that bit where it slows you down before, then that's where it should take over. But if it doesn't take over till the speed limit board, then the speed limit shouldn't be enforced until the speed limit board. Here's me weaving to try and get the temperatures above 85. Anyway, nothing to report really, so we can just go to 34. When we got a penalty for track limits. Ooh. Oh yeah, that's definite. Yep. Oh, just though. Only just needed to be though. Oh, whoops. My bad. Didn't want to bum the car. Yeah, just. Alright, that was the penalty. Cool. Lap 44 and we have to go to Sergio Perez. Let me guess, he makes contact with Albon. Even though it's equal performance, I keep expecting Albon to be at the back of the grid. Really surprised when I see him this high up. I didn't see any contact in that area. And since Perez is much quicker, he should pull away in Sector 2 and Sector 3. Especially on the mediums. Nice luck up. No contact though. A lot of contact likes to happen at turn 3. No contact. Very weird. See if we can see it from Albon's point of view. He looks at... Is there a slight... No. Oh, don't want to save preset. Although that would be good for my thumbnails. Although it saves you zoom as well. I think I tried it once for my thumbnails. Yeah, no contact. Really weird. It did say 44. Unless he stays within DRS. Oh, he does. Okay. I really should look at these before I actually do this. Quite the dart to the left, Checo. There's a little bit of contact. Really. Oh well. Sorry, we're not continuing with your battle. I've got stuff to do, places to be, and people to not see. Because I don't live anywhere near my friends. And I am quite introvert. No, that don't make sense. Whatever. We're racing. Well, we're not. Perez is... surprised that on simulation damage, that is not a puncture for Albon. To be fair, I kind of expect any kind of contact on simulation damage to be damage. Which is why I'm so careful when I play with my brother. And why he is so glad when I turn off damage. Don't even feel it from Albon. To be honest, I think that little wobble at the apex was just a little slide on the rear end. Yeah, ooh. Well, that was quick. Ooh. Why can't I go down? Why is the triggers... The triggers should always control this. No. The same buttons should always control the exact same dimensions. It is very close though. Haven't once yet got a clear shot. Well, that's clear. Front wing don't count. Has to be your tyres. Otherwise you could literally make a bumper car and say that the outer rim stayed on the circuit, so... Yeah, look, I mean it'd probably be slower anyway, but it'd be a lot safer for anyone racing Max, I tell you that for free. Confession time again. I made a little mistake on lap 49. I thought it was lap 50. So, I came across the line, setting the fastest lap of the race, thinking, I've won the Grand Prix. And so did my steering actions. Luckily, it weren't anything as bad as Abu Dhabi. Just a little bit of surprise when Mark came over the radio to tell me, this is your last lap, last lap. And I was so confused. I was like, how the hell have I missed out calling? How the hell have I got the wrong number of laps again? I know it's 50 laps. How have I got the last lap wrong again? I just don't know anymore. Because Mark doesn't always tell you it's the last lap, from my experience. But at the moment, he has been. So that's why I've kind of ignored the fact that he hasn't said it sometimes. Got a little bit of DRS from Latifi. I did try and go for a faster lap again on the final lap. Ah, balls. Accidentally kicked the bumper. Yeah, got a bit DRS, weren't able to get a fastest lap on this lap. Lap 49 had that by 0.2 of a second. But this time we came across the line with a weave. Almost thought I kicked the bumper again. And we won the Grand Prix. Hi. How many laps are at Australia? 58? Right. Let's make sure it's lap 58 that we start the weaving if we win the Grand Prix. This is 35 minutes long. Wow. 15 minutes longer than it should have been. So I'm going to wrap it up there. And nothing else to say. So I'll pass you over to the race debrief.
You joined me in the middle of the race on lap E11 on the soft tyres as we come towards our pit window, which is this lap. Accidentally changed downforce, changing it back, and telling the team that we want to box this lap with medium tyres. Obviously the pit rejoin position in the moment is P4, however we will be the first ones to pit, obviously on the softs. Coming into the pit lane then, and the game has stopped us before the pit limit line. I have a feeling it's a penalty, and what do you know, it is. The game is so incredibly bugged around the pit lane. I mean, just look at the Jesuses. Other than that, it's a good stop. I'd like to welcome you all back to the Monday morning debrief of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. It was a good race for us, and let's just get into the race debrief. First of all, race result, and the only negative that I could see when writing this is that some of the rivals have scored some good points, namely Hamilton in second place, Verstappen in fourth place, and that's it because Charles retired. However, that is out of our control, and Bobbi, you won the race, and Max was in second place to start the race and dropped down to fourth, so he didn't get as many points as he could have. So that's good there. please may I remind you that you are supposed to turn off notifications on your devices. Thank you. Shit. The gap is below expected. We are expecting a 16-point gap to second place at this point in time. If we are to follow pre-season targets. However, it's not all bad. We are now leading the championship, and we still have a large gap to our rivals. Hamilton in 6th place, 20 points behind. And Verstappen in 8th place, 25 points behind, it looks like. And obviously Charles all the way down in P19 with 0 points. So he is 38 points behind us. So it's still looking good. The Constructors' Championship. We unfortunately do only have a small gap to Alpine in 2nd place. However, we are now leading the championship, and our rivals are not P2 and P3. They are P4 and P5, and in reversed order of current expectations. So it's looking good for the championship. We just maintain these results for another couple of races, and we should not have to worry about a 3rd or 4th place in a race. Onto lap graph now. And Winter, Bobbi, you did exceed the target time on one lap, lap 16. Yes, lap 16. You were catching Lewis and Fernando on this lap. However, we do ask that you please stick to between the upper and lower limits. Again, please may I remind you that your notifications must be off. We did stick to the target lap time almost all the race, and the entire race is very close to one flat line. Of course, missing out the yellow ones for pit stops. So it's looking very good. Once again, I asked you all for your 8 images to represent the there's an error to represent the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and these were your 8 images. So if you don't know, okay, if you don't mind, ignore this and imagine that says Saudi Arabia. So without further ado, let's go on to your images first, Bobbi. Speed limit line is your bad image, and your good image was the end of the race, but more importantly the fastest laps of the end of the race. Now for your bad image, you came in with the subtitle text of speed limit line came into effect. The speed limit came into effect before the speed limit line. Now there's nothing we can do about this, and we have sent a word to the FIA. Whether they will look at it, we're not entirely sure. But you did absolutely nothing wrong. You were at the right speed at the speed limit line. It's just that it was enforced incorrectly. However, on to more positive notes. Your fastest lap was a full second clear of anyone, as you have stated, and that was ahead of Hamilton, who had the second fastest lap. No one had any fastest laps within a second of you, so if you can keep that pace up for the rest of the season, we will be in great shape. Now straight on to Mark. Q1 only had a half a second gap to second place, was your subtitle text, with the qualifying one result. Now, I couldn't help but noticing that you were very nitpicky, and I believe that the weekend on the whole was really, really good, and so you struggled to find anything to put down as your negative. That wasn't already going to come up. So yeah, obviously at the end of the session it is going to be harder to maintain a large gap, but I can agree with you, qualifying one was the worst one out there. Drivers' Championship, however, as I stated earlier, we are now leading the championship over Esteban Ocon in second place. He will only drop in the next couple of races. So straight on to Toto then. This time, and however, it was the end result of qualifying 2. In this one, there was the largest gap between Lewis and Bobbi in terms of positions, and I can agree with you, this is not what we want to see. So if we could close in that gap, that'd be nice, much appreciated. I know at the moment there was no teammates within those 3 cars that separated the 2 teammates. However, because there was 3 cars, next time that happens, it could very well be that even let Perez and Verstappen filling 2 of those spots, or Leclerc and Sainz, or a mixture of the 2. However, he did send us the image of the race result and looked more at the fact that Bobbi led a 1-2 home in the race. This is the greatest result that we could have hoped for, and the fact that Lewis came from P4 on the grid is a nice race from him. Obviously helped by Max's issue early in the race and Charles retiring. However, Lewis still had to fight off Fernando, so it was a good result from him. Last but not least, Rosie on the strategy side. Unfair penalty affected the strategy. 5-second penalty for the speed limit line coming into effect earlier than it should have been. I've said too much on it now, so we can quickly brush past that one. And we can go on to the good image of the strategies. The pre-planned strategies of a 2-stop soft, medium, medium, and a soft, hard. We didn't have to use the soft, hard, which was a good thing, and we could just do a simple 2-stop softs to mediums again. This time there was no strategy to affect our strategy. There's no safety car to affect our strategy, and we did not pick the wrong strategy midway through the race. And as I can see, no one's got any questions, and so we can morning debrief. Thank you for listening to the Monday morning review of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. It was a good race for both sides of the garage, and so hopefully we can continue this momentum into the rest of the season, and I hope that you all have a good rest of your week. I believe there is a... well, no, technically, there should be about 2 or 3 days before the next episode. I am realising that this is actually the end of the video. I have stopped becoming the race debriefer, and so hope you have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. We'll all see you next time for the Australian Grand Prix. Thank you.